My husband and his employees went on a camping trip, and his assistant posted on social media. We drew lots for the tents, and guess who ended up with the handsome CEO? The post showed a selfie she took. Behind her, my husband was taking his shirt off. Someone left a comment. A man and a woman alone together? Sounds juicy. The assistant quickly replied with a smirking emoji. I like a little excitement. After I liked the post, it was deleted right away. Soon, my husband called me on video. In front of his crying assistant and several employees, he scolded, "Why did you like the post? It was just a game. Don't be so close-minded." As I watched him hold the assistant in arms and comforted her, I quietly hung up. After 10 years of loving Caelan Sullivan, I decided then and there to let go. When Caelan Sullivan got home, I was packing for the camping trip. I had loved hiking since I was young, and Caelan knew that. I begged him for a long time to let me join this trip, and he finally agreed. But just before we were supposed to leave, he changed his mind. With a disgusted look, he said, "You're a cripple. Why do you want to climb a mountain? Why do you always do things that embarrass me?" Then, he walked off without looking back. Something I had been excited about for 6 months fell through just because he said it was embarrassing. Caelan kicked the stuff on the floor and said irritably, "You do nothing but sit around all day. Can't you at least clean up the house? It's a mess." He threw a jewelry box at me. "It's for you." Isabel helped me pick it out. "Open it." The red velvet box looked exquisite, but I had seen it in Isabel Turner's post before. It was a selfie of her wearing a necklace worth millions of dollars. Behind her, Caelan was smiling as he paid for it. I remembered the caption. The CEO asked me to help him pick out a necklace, and then he gave it to me. What's that supposed to mean? Other people eagerly responded. What else could it mean? It was obviously meant for you. He's being straightforward. The cold CEO is being direct. I recognized the necklace. The valuable one was the one Isabel took, and the box I had only contained a freebie. Thanks, but I don't like it. I closed the box and threw it in the trash can. Caelan got angry when he saw me do this. Isabel picked it out for you because she meant well. Don't be so ungrateful. Pick it up right now. Do you hear me? I stood still and did not move. To my surprise, Caelan walked over, shoved me hard, and yelled, "Nellie, you stupid cripple. Stop acting like you can't hear me. I'm giving you a way out, but you won't take it. Why are you acting so high and mighty?" Caelan pushed me hard, and I lost my balance. I stumbled back a few steps and hit my lower back on the corner of the table. I groaned and fell to the floor. I shook from the pain. When Caelan saw this, he panicked and quickly came over to help me. He apologized. I went too far earlier. Don't take it to heart. So, he knew that calling me a cripple was too much. I got this leg injury while trying to save Caelan during a camping trip when he fell into a ravine. At first, he was grateful and always avoided mentioning my leg injury. But then, Isabel showed up. She was the first to call me Miss Cripple. Caelan did not scold her. Instead, he laughed with her. After that, he often called me a cripple to insult me. Caelan wanted to pick me up and take me to the hospital, but just then, his phone rang. Caelan glanced at his phone and quickly answered. Isabel's tearful voice came through. "Caelan, help me. Someone's following me. I'm scared." Caelan shot up immediately and spoke softly to calm her. "Don't worry, Isabel. I'm coming to get you." Isabel kept crying. "Will Ms. Warren be mad that I called you for help so late?" Caelan gave me a quick glance and coldly snorted. "Who cares if she gets mad? Your safety is more important." He ended the call and rushed to the door without looking back at me. "Caelan," I called out. Irritated, he clicked his tongue. He turned around and said, "Didn't you hear that Isabel's in danger? Stop making trouble." I interrupted him. "Can you grab my phone? I need to call an ambulance." He was stunned after hearing that. I continued, "Since you're not taking me to the hospital, I'll have to call an ambulance myself." That seemed to remind him I was hurt. He quickly made the call. Before leaving, he shot me a few guilty looks. "I'll come see you at the hospital later." I spent the night in the hospital, but Caelan never showed up. When I got home after being discharged, I saw that Isabel had posted something new on her alternate account. She wrote that a stalker followed her home, so she had to hide in a convenience store because she was scared. Fortunately, Caelan arrived just in time. He beat up the stalker, but the guy managed to cut Caelan's stomach with a small knife during the fight. There was even a picture of Caelan lying at Isabel's place with his shirt lifted and waiting to be treated. The comments were buzzing. "Oh my god, those abs. What do they feel like?" Isabel replied, "Hee hee, I'll tell you after I enjoy them." Soon after, I came across a video of the whole incident that the convenience store staff posted. The footage showed Caelan beating the stalker up until the guy could not move. After wiping the blood off his hands, Caelan suddenly pulled Isabel into his arms and gently comforted her. His eyes were full of warmth and care. The sweet scene made my heart hurt. On our wedding anniversary a year ago, he suddenly asked me out for dinner. I dressed up and waited for a long time at the restaurant, but he never came. A few thugs suddenly surrounded me and tried to pull me into an alley. Luckily, Caelan showed up just in time. I managed to break free and ran to him. I cried and told him someone was trying to kidnap me, but after hearing that, he looked displeased. "Nellie, enough. I can't believe you're trying to get my attention by pulling such a stunt. Who would want you, a useless cripple? I already said I would celebrate our anniversary with you. Isn't that enough? I'm having dinner with Isabel tonight. Just go home and stop embarrassing yourself." With that, he pulled Isabel into the restaurant. As they walked past me, Isabel tossed her hair back proudly to show off a pair of emerald earrings. I recognized those earrings. Caelan had wanted to buy them for me as an anniversary gift. Later, he told me someone else had gotten them, but Isabel was wearing them. That night, when I got home, I saw the scratch marks on my neck and felt scared. I did not want to think about what could have happened if I had not escaped. Afterward, Caelan made it up to me with a homemade dinner, and he managed to win me over. That was a year ago, but I still sometimes dreamed about how scared I was that night, as well as Caelan's angry words. I would always wake up in tears. But today, when I thought back on it, all I felt was disappointment. In the end, I texted the divorce lawyer my friend recommended. "Hi, I'd like to consult you about getting a divorce." Caelan did not come home until the next afternoon. When he saw me, he looked relieved and said, "I forgot to go to the hospital. I didn't think you'd be out so soon. It must not be serious." I did not tell him it was serious. I had a spinal misalignment, and if I had waited longer to go to the hospital, I might have had a miscarriage. But I kept quiet and hummed in agreement. While loosening his tie, Caelan talked about what happened last night. "I was going to visit you after dropping Isabel off, but she was still scared. As her boss, I have to care for her." He came closer, hugged my waist from behind, and asked, "You're not mad, are you?" The scent of a woman's perfume on him made me feel sick. I moved away and said, "Of course not. It's fine for you to help since she's a woman." Happy with my answer, Caelan leaned in to kiss me. That was when I noticed his shirt was wide open. I stopped him and pointed to the hickey on his neck. "What's this?" Caelan quickly straightened up and awkwardly tried to explain, "It's probably just a mosquito bite." I asked the question not because I did not know the answer. On the contrary, I knew what it was. But I nodded calmly anyway. Caelan always tried to make up to me after he did something wrong, and this time was no different. He gave me a new dress and said he would take me to a party. Our marriage was a secret. Caelan had not taken me to any events since my leg got injured. That was when Isabel came into the picture. She was beautiful, had a great figure, and had graduated from a top university. I once overheard Caelan talking to his friends. He said, "I always feel proud whenever I take someone like Isabel out. She's not like Nellie, who's old and disabled." To prevent Caelan from noticing anything wrong and causing issues before the divorce, I agreed to go with him. At the party, Isabel and her friends kept looking at us. Finally, the girls could not hold back and ran over to Caelan. "I heard you're after Isabel. Is that true?" Caelan looked at me, paused for a moment, and then said, "Yes." I turned away and suddenly felt a sharp pain in my belly. They pointed at me with a confused look. "Who is she?" Caelan did not know how to answer. Just then, Isabel chimed in, "This is Caelan's housekeeper." Caelan treats his housekeeper really well. He even brings her to parties like this to give her some experience in elite circles. Then, she smiled at Caelan and asked, "Right?" Upon hearing that, Caelan looked relieved and said, "Yeah, Isabel is right." The girls felt proud of themselves for helping Isabel figure out if Caelan was right for her, so they walked away feeling happy. Once her friends were gone, Isabel quickly took my hand and explained, "Ms. Warren, please don't be upset." I asked Caelan to act like he was interested in me. If I didn't, they would try to set me up with someone, and that would be annoying. Seeing I stayed silent, Caelan was displeased. "Nellie, we were just acting. Don't be so petty." Before, I would have made a big fuss and made everyone uncomfortable, but after everything that happened, I did not care anymore. I'm not angry. The pain in my stomach got worse. I held my belly and could not stand up straight. "Caelan, can you take me home?" Caelan clicked his tongue with irritation. "Nellie, enough. Is this how you show you're not angry? Stop pretending in front of me. You need to stay here until the party is over. You're not going anywhere." Then, he put his arm around Isabel's waist and walked away. I hid in a corner and tried to withstand the pain. My face was pale. Finally, the party ended. However, Isabel said her emerald earring fell into the pool. When Caelan heard this, he turned to me and said, "Isabel and I have another event to attend. Nellie, jump in and get it."